Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. This morning brought a wave of familiarity to South Florida as the Miami Dolphins announced the signing of defensive tackle Ben Stiller. It's not often that a name reappears with such quiet persistence, but for fans with sharp memories, Stiller's return is a subtle reminder of the NFL's revolving door, where talent, timing, and perseverance intersect in the most unexpected ways. The 2025 season will be his third year in the league, and while his journey hasn't been flashy, it's been marked by resilience. Still's addition comes as Terron Armstead officially transitions to the retired list, opening a roster spot that Miami quickly chose to fill with a player who knows their system and culture. For Stiller, it's more than just a transaction. It's a second chance with the team that first believed in him back in 2022, Ben Stiller's football roots trace. Back to Nebraska, where he built a reputation as a gritty, hard-working presence on the defensive line. Over 5 seasons as a Cornhusker, he played in 53 games and accumulated 149 tackles, 31 tackles for loss, and 14.5 sacks. A body of work that painted the picture of a consistent disruptor in the trenches. Those numbers, while not jaw-dropping, told a story of effort and development. They reflected a player who showed up every week and left his mark, even if that mark wasn't always front-page news. It's the kind of resume that appeals to coaches who value the blue-collar foundation of a defense. Miami saw that in 2022, giving him his first NFL shot as an undrafted free agent. That first year with the Dolphins was far from glamorous. Still spent most of his rookie season on the practice squad, quietly learning the ropes and waiting for an opportunity. It eventually came when he was elevated to the active roster for one game. He got his first taste of real NFL action, and just like that, the opportunity window shifted. Late in the 2022 season, the Cleveland Browns swooped in and signed him off Miami's practice squad, a move that showed other teams were also watching. With the Browns, Stiller found himself on the field more regularly, appearing in 6 games. While his stat sheet didn't explode, he showed enough to remain in the conversation as a rotational piece on the defensive front. After his stint in Cleveland, Still found his path winding westward in 2023, where the Arizona Cardinals brought him in as part of their practice squad. Again, he proved capable of stepping up when needed, playing in 5 games that season. These were no small feats. Earning playing time as a depth player on a practice squad contract takes discipline, adaptability, and constant readiness. He wasn't just filling space. He was battling for snaps in every rep, every drill, every team meeting. That mindset kept his name circulating as the league shuffled players around. For someone like Stiller, staying ready is the difference between being on a roster and watching from the couch. The 2024 season offered yet another twist in Stiller's football odyssey. He began the year once more with Arizona's practice squad, seemingly stuck in limbo. But then, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers came calling. They signed him mid-season, and he suited up for 3 games. Just as quickly as he came, he was waived, and Arizona reclaimed him. This back-and-forth movement may seem chaotic, but it's the reality for many fringe players in the NFL, a constant game of musical chairs where staying employed means staying prepared. Through all this, Stiller never fell off the radar completely. His ability to plug holes, follow assignments, and play physical ball made him an asset worth keeping tabs on. Last month, the Cardinals made the decision to waive Stiller again. It could have been another dead-end moment in his career, but instead, it opened the door for his return to Miami. And here we are today. Ben Stiller is back in aqua and orange, right where his NFL story began. It's a full circle moment, one. That speaks volumes about the value Miami's coaching staff still sees in him. Whether it's special teams, rotational reps, or just bringing an experienced voice to the locker room, Stiller offers utility. He's a known quantity, and in a sport where trust can be as valuable as talent, that counts for something. Statistically, Stiller's resume is modest. 17 total tackles, 3 quarterback hits, and 2 sacks over 2 NFL seasons. But stats don't always tell the whole story, especially for a player who's bounced between practice squads and game day rosters. His production came in limited reps, in unfamiliar systems, and under the pressure of knowing every snap could be his last. What coaches see in him isn't just the numbers, it's the ability to execute the scheme, hold the line, and bring consistent effort no matter the role. And now he'll get the chance to compete again for a spot on one of the league's more quietly solid defensive fronts. The Dolphins' defensive line room in 2025 is a blend of experience and youth, with names like Zach Sealer and Benito Jones, providing a veteran presence alongside new faces like Kenneth Grant and Zeke Biggers. There's also Matt Dickerson, Jordan Phillips, waiver pickup Matthew Butler, and undrafted free agent Alex Huntley, all fighting for space in a competitive unit. Still's return adds depth, but more importantly, it adds a player who understands what it takes to survive in the NFL as a grinder. He's not here to headline. He's here to help win games. And sometimes that's exactly what a team needs in the dog days of a long season. What's next for Still depends entirely on how he performs in camp. He'll need to outwork younger prospects and show that his experience makes a difference. But if history is any indication, he'll embrace the challenge. This is a player who's never had anything handed to him. From Nebraska to Miami, Cleveland to Arizona, and a brief Tampa pit stop in between, he's carved out a living in one of the toughest professions there is. The Dolphins clearly see something they can use. Otherwise, they wouldn't have picked up the phone. For Ben Stiller, the mission now is simple. Prove them right. So as we look ahead to training camp, keep an eye on number 90. If he makes the final 53-man roster, it'll be because he earned it the hard way. And even if he ends up on the practice squad once again, don't count him out. Ben Steele is living proof that in the NFL, persistence is just as important as performance. His story isn't flashy, but it's real. It's raw. And for every star player whose name is chanted by thousands, there are 10 more like Stiller. Quietly grinding, quietly believing, and sometimes, just sometimes, making it all the way back to where it all started. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments, what's your take on the Fins this week? In what could be one of the most shocking and sensational moves of the NFL offseason, rumors are swirling around that Aaron Rodgers, the legendary quarterback and future Hall of Famer, is set to join the Miami Dolphins. Yes, you heard that right. The man who defined an era in Green Bay and sparked headlines with his high-profile trade to the New York Jets just last year is reportedly packing his bags again. The buzz started when Rodgers was spotted in Miami earlier this week having dinner with none other than Dolphins general manager Chris Greer. While some say it could just be a casual off-season visit, insiders close to the situation are hinting that this might be much bigger, a seismic shift in the NFL quarterback landscape. Now, let's unpack this. Aaron Rodgers, who just last season was hailed as the savior of the Jets, has been battling injuries and facing constant media scrutiny about his future. Some reports suggest that after his Achilles injury and the Jets' failure to make a deep playoff run, Rodgers may be looking for a fresh start. And we're better than Miami. The Dolphins have an electrifying offense, a beach lifestyle perfectly suited for Rodgers' laid-back persona, and perhaps most importantly, a roster on the cusp of being Super Bowl contenders. The thought of Rodgers throwing bombs to Tyreek Hill and connecting with Jalen Waddle is enough to make any Dolphins fan's heart skip a beat. Sources close to the Dolphins organization are playing coy, refusing to confirm or deny any official talks. But if we connect the dots, things start to make sense. Tua Tagovailoa, while talented and beloved in Miami, has faced his own share of health concerns, particularly with concussions. The Dolphins front office could be quietly exploring the possibility of bringing in a veteran presence to solidify their playoff aspirations. And who better than Rodgers, a proven winner, a 4-time MVP, and a quarterback who knows how to manage high-pressure situations. It's the kind of bold move that could catapult Miami from playoff hopeful to legitimate Super Bowl favorite overnight. Of course there are skeptics. Some NFL analysts argue that Rodgers, at 41, may not have much left in the tank, especially after coming off a serious injury. But if there's one thing we know about Aaron Rodgers, it's that he thrives when people doubt him. His entire career has been defined by proving the naysayers wrong, from being overlooked in the draft to replacing Brett Favre and then creating a legacy of his own. The Dolphins' interest could be based on the belief that even a vintage Rodgers is better than most quarterbacks in the league today. And with their offensive weapons and a defense on the rise, this could be the perfect environment for Rodgers to make one last run at a Super Bowl, adding fuel to the fire several. Miami-based reporters have noted an unusual amount of activity surrounding the Dolphins training facility this week. Rodgers' personal trainer was allegedly seen in the area, and a high-end property in South Beach was reportedly purchased under the name of an LLC linked to Rodgers' management team. Coincidence? Maybe. But for those following NFL free agency, drama, these kinds of signs often precede a major announcement. It's also worth noting that Rodgers has long expressed admiration for Miami's culture and lifestyle. In past interviews, he's joked about how playing in a warmer climate would be easier on his aging body. Could that day finally be here? From a financial standpoint, this move would require some serious cap gymnastics from the Dolphins. Rodgers' contract with the Jets is not insignificant, and any trade would need to account for both salary cap implications and draft compensation. But Dolphins owner Stephen Ross has never been shy about making big moves. Remember, this is the same franchise that once pursued Deshaun Watson aggressively. If Ross believes that bringing Rodgers to Miami is the final piece of the puzzle, it's hard to imagine him not signing off on whatever it takes to make it happen. And let's face it, bringing a star like Rodgers to South Beach would be a marketing dream for the franchise. Let's also consider the locker room dynamics. How would Tua feel about this? Publicly, Tagovailoa has always been the consummate professional, but it's hard to ignore the fact that bringing in a megastar like Rodgers would immediately create tension. Would Tua be willing to sit behind Rodgers and learn, or would this prompt a trade request of his own? Some league insiders are already speculating that if Rodgers lands in Miami, Tua could be shipped elsewhere, potentially to a team like the Raiders or the Vikings, both of whom are rumored to be looking for a new franchise quarterback. The ripple effects of this move could extend far beyond just Rodgers and the Dolphins. The Dolphins fan base, predictably, is split. Social media has been ablaze with debates. Some fans ecstatic at the thought of pairing Rodgers with Miami's high-powered offense, while others express loyalty to Tua and concerns about mortgaging the future for a quarterback in the twilight of his career. But if Dolphins history tells us anything, it's that this franchise has never shied away from headline-making decisions. Whether it was courting big-name free agents or making controversial trades, Miami has always had a flair for the dramatic. And let's be honest, few moves could be more dramatic than bringing Aaron Rodgers to South Beach. NFL insiders are watching this situation closely. Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, and other league insiders have all hinted that something big is brewing in Miami, though no one has gone on record to confirm the Rodgers deal. Some reports suggest that negotiations are in the advanced stages, while others caution that no official trade has been submitted to the league office yet. The Dolphins, as well as the Jets, remain publicly silent, adding only more intrigue to an already electric rumor. But if history is any guide, these kinds of deals often come together quietly behind the scenes, only to explode into public view with a sudden shocking announcement. So, is Aaron Rodgers really heading to the Dolphins? Right now, it's still a rumor, a tantalizing possibility that has set the NFL world abuzz. But given all the smoke, one has to wonder if there's fire. For now, Dolphins fans and NFL watchers alike will be glued to their phones, waiting for that bombshell Schefter tweet or a surprise press conference in Miami. And if it does happen, if Aaron Rodgers truly does become the next quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, it would not only reshape the AFC East, but could redefine the final chapter of one of the most fascinating careers in NFL history. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!